My name is Julie Davis. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Chestatee Elementary, and this is my data overview of Chestatee Elementary School. The purpose of this presentation is to inform our school's Chestatee Improvement Plan team and our school administration about our scoring on the Georgia milestones. It's also to show academic growth from the last 3 years, to find areas of weakness from the last 3 years, and to distinguish two key areas where academic improvement is needed the most. So what are we going to be looking at in this presentation? We're going to be looking at some demographics, including teacher and students here at Chestatee, and we're also going to be looking at the Georgia milestones, 3rd through 5th grade students, and their scores from Chestatee over the last 3 years. Some questions to drive our analysis are: how are we doing as a school? What are some things we are doing well as a school? What are some areas we can improve on? And what is our plan moving forward? So Chestatee Elementary School originally started as Chestatee School, and it opened in 1931. It is actually considered the oldest school in Forsyth County. And in 1939, along with several other schools, it consolidated down and turned into a high school in 1967. And then from there had several renovations and is now just a K through 5 elementary school. We are located in Cumming, Georgia, which is in Forsyth County School District. We are currently a Title I school. We lost title a few years ago, but have recently gained it back. And we are a K through 5 school, and we do have 2 special ed pre-Ks in our school building as well. Our school enrollment over the last few years, you can see from the graph from our 2020 to 2021 school year all the way up to our 22 to 23 school year, that there has been a slight increase in our school enrollment. We do not really have a transient population here at Chestatee, so those do not affect our school enrollment numbers. The race and ethnicity breakdown is here in percentages. Our highest population of subgroup is our white students, with our second being Hispanic. Some things to question and think about while looking at this graph is: are the teachers providing a cultural learning environment that would meet the needs of Chestatee students who are attending here at Chestatee Elementary? This is looking at the student enrollment by gender. These are all percentages, and if you notice, the blue is male and the red is the female population. There is a gradual increase in the female population, while there is a gradual decrease in the male population, but they roughly stay around the same and are pretty even amongst the entire school K through 5. This is a breakdown of our other student subgroups. We have students with disabilities, we have limited English proficient learners, and then we have our free and reduced meal eligibility students. And if you notice, there was a slight decrease from the free and reduced eligibility from the 2021 school year to the 21-22. And then there was an increase from the 21-22 school year to a 22-23 school year. The number of limited English proficient students has increased slightly over the last 3 years, and the students with disabilities has fluctuated over the last 3 years. It went from a 15% back in 2021 school year to a 23% in the 21-22 school year, and then back down to a 16% in the 22-23 school year. Looking at our teacher personnel race and ethnicity breakdown here, you notice that our highest subgroup is our white population of teachers, with our second being Hispanic. And just some things to kind of think about while looking at this is: what could be done to seek a more diverse staff for the future And that would in turn help more of our Hispanic population to help reach those students that we have here at Chestatee. The gender population at Chestatee over the last 3 years has roughly stayed the same, with a very high population of female teachers, and it's significantly higher than the male, with male only having two and the female being anywhere from 96 to 98. So the personnel with years of experience, this data shows from each year that there is a high number of teachers who have more than 10 years of experience at Chestatee, with the majority of our teacher population having more than 10 years. And you notice here that there is just a really big group of teachers that have anywhere from 11 to 20 years, and you even have some that have stayed past their 30 years of putting in to get to that retirement stage, and they have just continued working. Our improvement goal here at Chestatee that our school has set is going to a 56% of third, fourth, and fifth grade students scoring at a proficient or distinguished level on the Georgia Milestone Assessment in the math section. Currently, we are at 50% for third, fourth, and fifth grade students performing at that distinguished and proficient level in the math section. So we're trying to raise it by 6%. So there is a scale for our Georgia milestones. The level 1 is considered a beginning learner, and those are students that need substantial academic support in order to be prepared for the next grade level. A level 2 is called developing, and these students need additional academic support to be successful in the next grade level. And then the proficient is considered a level 3, and those are students that are prepared for the next grade level. And distinguished is a level 4, and those students are well prepared for the next grade level. So for our third, fourth, and fifth grade students scoring on the math section of the Georgia milestones, you see here the breakdown from each 3 years, and they're roughly the same. If you notice, the numbers fluctuate just a little, but they roughly stay the same. There has been a slight increase in the combined of the yellow and the gray of that proficient and distinguished. There was a slight increase each year in those numbers, but not significant. So the percentages of proficient and distinguished learners combined for the Chestatee, Forsyth County, and the state of Georgia here in math section that we're looking at, this is all 3 years combined for each of those categories. Some things that you might notice is that Chestatee's in the red, Forsyth County is in the orange, and the state of Georgia is in that gray. Now, compared from the state of Georgia to Chestatee, you notice that we are performing at a higher level in our math section for those proficient and distinguished learners. But compared to the county level, the Forsyth County level, we are lower than the rest of the county and what they are expecting our school to be performing at. So there was this slight increase from each year for Chestatee, and also in Forsyth County, there was a slight increase from the first to the second year there, but we are not performing at the level that Forsyth County is looking at us to perform at. So that is why we have set our goal to be raised 6% to try to close that gap. Some areas of strength and weakness here. So some strengths that we have are the percentage of students who are proficient and above has increased each year, and we are on that upward slope going up towards getting to the level that we need to be at. And Chestatee is above the state average of students who are performing at proficient and above levels. Some weaknesses that we do have, though, is there is an increase in beginning learners, and it's slowly rising. And the proficient and above has not had a significant increase over the last few years. It's just a slight increase. And we're really looking for that to be a higher, more significant increase over the next year. And Chestatee is below the county average of students who are performing at that proficient and above level. So, an academic improvement that we need to set here is we really need to decrease the number of students who are scoring at the beginning and developing levels in the Georgia milestones, and in turn increase the number of students who are scoring in that proficient and distinguished levels. So, some of our next steps. What can the second, first, and kindergarten grade teachers do to help support those upper grade teachers and those students meet their school wide goals of getting from that 50% to the 56%? And what could teachers do to become more engaged in our school wide data discussions to help increase our school scores? And then what interventions can be put in place for students that are not showing much growth? Thank you so much for listening to this data overview. Again, my name is Julie Davis. I hope you have a great evening.